Okay, welcome everyone. This is the last part of the pubic chakra. So we're going to do the tail end of the universal law of intent. We've already looked at the second dimension and humility, and now we have discussed the law of intent, but this is just the end of the information. So it'll be a shorter class, but still lots of really good information. So I'm just going to share the screen right now. Oh, and today is July the 28th, 2023. Okay, there we go. We are anchoring heaven on earth with all this information. And you can see the anchor is golden here. That's our divine alignment. Universal law is part of our divine alignment, the framework of operations. The languaging the Council of Love uses is very specific. So, and this is why I color the words all the time to help us remember the mother, the movement of the mother in how things work, and the framework of the father. But the mother energy, the blue, can also be its movement and stillness. Okay, so we are embodying love now with all of this information. And there's the pubic chakra, right above the root chakra. And there's Sanat Kumara. He is keeper of universal law. He carries the scales of balance. And often he will show up in front of you carrying these scales. And he's helping us to understand balance. So, and within this part of the information for the law of intent, Archangel Michael is going to help us eliminate all fear. And it's a very simple way to do it. We'll just do a tiny little review. So this law is connected to the rainbow of gold, so the ray of gold, which is lightest gold to darkest gold. So it's a very shiny gold to Archangel Gabriel's burnished gold. And the golden spiral, there's a lot of elements in this ascension that are gold. The spiral is one of them, the golden ascension spiral. Gratitude is another one, self-worth. There's a lot of universal law is golden. Okay, and SK says we are in the home stretch. And you can think of the word stretch as the energy that goes from the heart of one to the center of the planet. Yes, Steve.
Oh, there we are. When I had the experience of the Kundalini going over I was lying down. So it went over my head and into the seventh chakra.
Yeah.
It was a river of gold.
Yeah.
River of gold, just like that. Yeah.
Total sense. Gold is very, very powerful. That's joy, and joy in the higher realms is gratitude for sacred purpose. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Nice work. Okay, so yeah, the wording is very specific. So SK said we are in the home stretch. So home being the heart of one. Gaia is the center of the planet is where Gaia's heart is. So, and stretch, you can see the way Steve described the river of gold. It's like a stretching energy. Yeah, so I call it and divine alignment. So from Gaia through our physical form, right up to the heart of one, where everything is connected. There's a root cord that goes from the root chakra to the heart of the planet. And then there's a silver cord that goes to the heart of one. Everyone has a silver cord. That's how the Divine Mother keeps track of everyone. Yeah. She's amazing that way. Billions and billions of souls. Yeah. She called herself, what did she say, Steve? One time she said, it goes way beyond computers, what she does. Something. I remember that. Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you.
I know that she said it's beyond what you can imagine. It's way beyond at this stage, he said.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps track of everyone. No, not a soul is lost.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is an incredible, it's mind-boggling for us. Okay, so the first piece of the law of intent was, what was our intention in terms of our mission and purpose, our plan, our agreement prior to returning to Earth. So we all come with intention. We usually intend to be love. It can go awry here because the belief systems are so intense, but we do come with that intention. Okay, and it's written on the walls of our heart. So when you fly through that pinprick of light in the heart chakra, into the golden chambers, that's where it's all written. And the more we practice sitting in those golden chambers, the more we understand, basically. That's a really good place to sit. And it's not English that comes through, it's knowing. I don't even know how to, I mean, I've been sitting asking a lot of questions lately, and it's just all of a sudden I will understand. And it's like a light bulb goes off, but it is not English. So that's how I receive. I mean, everybody's slightly different. So if you're not getting English, don't worry about it. Because even if you stare at those golden walls and it looks like there's other languages on it, though, the understandings will come so that you do get it. But it comes in the stillness. So practice being in the practicing being in the stillness. Okay, so there's me. What did we write on the walls of our heart prior to returning to Earth? I know that I have there, all there is love and peace and joy. That is written on the walls of my heart. So everybody's unique. You may have something similar, something about love, no doubt. To help us remember, we're here to be love, and that's it with everybody. Okay, and then the second piece, what is our intention for our life right now? What is the smaller piece for the completion of our ascension in this moment of now? Now, this can change. So right now, the balancing work that I'm doing is family peace. That's the big one that I'm really anchoring in. Because once the beings all around me are all getting along, that contributes to global peace. So, but he says, look at the walls of our heart and that direct alignment and balance with our overall intention for our life. See the divine perfection and our reflection of divinity in this. And he asks us to give thanks and gratitude. So that's giving thanks is a big one. Because as we know, we get triggered, we get angry. It's really hard to be gratitude when you're in that state. But as soon as you can get to the why to be in gratitude, it brings us right back into the heart space and back into divine alignment. So that gratitude piece can be very important. But you can see, so what is the correlation between my prior intent and my intent right now? Well, it's all the same, really, because we came to anchor love and peace and joy in the physical form. Therefore, for all of us, but the family piece is very connected to my prior intention. So they're all really one and the same, is what I'm saying. Does that make sense? It's just, this is what I'm working on right now, but really it's what I intended to do before I even came. Does it make sense?
The small intent is just one step of getting towards a larger intent. That's all. It's just a step on the ladder.
Yeah, but it's all the same because if I anchor peace in my family, I'm actually anchoring peace on the planet. So yeah, it's not really a smaller piece, but it's,
Yeah, but you're not going to get to the large piece until you solve the small one.
yeah. Okay, so does that make sense for everybody? So whatever you're working on in the moment right now, it really is the bigger picture as well. Because the more we work on the small piece, it's actually anchoring in the big piece. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay.
Is it because it just not anchors out, but it flows out.
Yes.
It just keeps going out farther and farther and farther.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Our fields expand, the vibrations expand out, the frequency increases. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is a really helpful thing to do, to set our intentions for the day and the week, our behavior, what we choose to receive throughout the day, how we wish to interact with others, and the inspiration we wish to receive. So this is that app we talked about last year. It's really helpful if you want to just do it with an app, but it's also helpful to do it in a journal, write it down. So it's our intent, it's our ideas, imagination, infusion, and often this energy is very invisible because that's just how it is. And I can send this out by email if you'd like me to. Okay, I'll do that. It's handy to have it, and then just put it to a journal, or as you can see, the app is called Morning Gratitude Journal, and you can change up what it says right here. You can change up the sentences. Like their app, it says I'm grateful for, but I changed it to intention for my day and my week. You can literally change the app. Yes, Steve.
People can also do a screen grab of that.
Yeah, you can screen grab it. Yeah. Yeah, it's very handy. It's also on my website. If you go into the golden circle and you go scroll down the universal laws to law of intention, it's right there in the law of intention as well. So on voiceoffreedom.ca. All right. Okay. Oh yeah. Ken or Lillian? Yes.
As I understand, this doesn't work for Android, it only works for Apple, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, I
I
don't know
thought
either.
that's what you said
Oh,
previously.
is it an Apple app? I don't know that much about apps.
I think it probably is an Apple app.
Oh, okay.
I think that makes sense.
Okay, then I would just look for a gratitude app, and one that you can change, and most of them you can change the wording to whatever you would like. The app. Yeah, or if you're a journaler, just journal. But it really brings, these intentions are very good. They bring you right into the middle, and then it creates more conscious awareness within the self, basically. Okay. Now, this is interesting because he goes on to talk about alcohol, drugs, and ego. And SK says the intent of being drunk, and it doesn't matter whether it's alcohol or drugs or ego, because they are all the same. Oh, and then he says they are variations on a theme. When you are using excess of alcohol or drugs, what you're doing is you're trying to escape from your intention and from your sacred purpose. You are depressing yourself, and you are repressing the truth of who you are. So while there is this ego statement of I am in the process of discovering myself, I'm allowing the artist, the philosopher within to explore themselves. In fact, what you're doing is you're putting yourself,
Picture.
this is true of college students, seniors, and middle-aged people. You're putting yourself in a position where you are limiting your scope, your imagination, your inspiration. So you can see I've used scope and imagination. That's the mother energy, and inspiration is the father energy. Yeah, you are shutting yourself down. You are shrinking yourself. So how do you reach a place where you're finding, where you are enjoying the experience of life and not engaging in behaviors that are basically self-defeating? And he says it is a matter of finding the balance and the middle of the way, in the middle way. So it's coming back to the heart. I work with a lady, an older lady that struggles with alcoholism, and she's definitely in her head. She finds it's very difficult for her to come into her heart. She's super kind, but there's been an incredible amount of sorrow. So she's afraid to come into the heart space. And the struggle with alcoholism is intense for her. So I think that when SK says finding the balance and the middle way, it's really dropping into the heart and flying into the golden chambers and practicing listening. Yes, there.
So why would people try to escape their intention? Is it because they're not up to facing up to the challenges of their life, or what would it be?
Well, I imagine it's some kind of fear. Because sacred purpose we find purpose emerges when we eliminate belief systems. It's there. There's nothing else there. At least that was my experience. The deeper I went into the heart space, there was no stopping it. It was just right there. But so it's belief systems. And what are the belief systems? The major one is fear, sorrow. Yeah.
So they're not really trying to escape, they're escaping because they're in the belief system.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, trying to escape from your intentions. So why is he saying that? Well, they're okay. They're running away from the heart. Do you get that? Like they're running outside of themselves. They're not turning around and going into the heart, basically. They're reaching for alcohol rather than sitting still and listening to their guides. Yes, Leanne.
Well, I was just
So
going to
they're,
say,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
they're just not aware of the beliefs that are holding them back, though, I guess, eh?
Not aware. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, who's really aware on this planet? we're all kind of underwater. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, good question. Really good. What do you think, Leanne?
Well, I was just going to say that the ego and all of these things, alcohol, drugs, like he's putting that sort of in the same box, and the ego is so far away from the heart.
Mhm.
And when they're in ego, like you said, they're in fear, but they aren't able to go, or not able, but they're not aware to even go to their heart because they're so in their ego.
Yeah, in the head.
That's my experience anyways, with people that with certain people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. They don't
Mhm.
know to sit in the heart.
That's right.
Who taught us? Nobody at school ever said anything about the heart. I don't remember.
Mhm.
No
And of course,
meditation, practice, no nothing.
yeah. And like you said, we knew it when we were born, and they were born, we were all born with it to be in the heart. But then the programming, the traumas, the, belief systems all push that away.
We sponge them up. Because,
Yes.
yeah, 0 to 8, I think, is like big time for us. We're like a sponge. The brain isn't really conscious to say, no, I don't like that. It just sponges up. And then we spend a lifetime trying to, for that to dissolve. But it's a conscious practice. Yeah, but I feel that we're not taught enough. It should be taught in kindergarten for everyone to sit still, but not sit still in the heart, but breathe right down, or not in the head, but in the heart. Breathe in and feel yourself really sitting in the heart space. But people are afraid to go in there because they don't know, because of all the systems, especially the religious systems. We all feel kind of unforgivable, that we're sinners on some level, and that they're afraid. When I offer readings to people, some of them will say, oh, no, I couldn't have a reading. and it opens the conversation as to why, and they're afraid, like big fear. So, yeah, I think it's more fear than anything else. And the fear, and what happens when, I struggled with alcoholism. So it was a fear. I was in incredible fear, and I reached outside of myself to feel better and never felt better, ever. It made everything worse, so much worse. And then being with the young ones struggling in the recovery centers, same thing. They were all reaching outside to feel better through drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever it is, but it never works. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think we need a brand new educational system, the quantum educational system, which is coming down the pipeline. So once we get to that, then we'll be programmed in this negative fashion that we are in right now.
Well, supposedly that education system is to come through us. So whoever are the teachers, well, the deeper they sit in their hearts, and this is how I have developed my reading practice, it all came through from the other side. So when the teachers come into the reading room, they're like, how did you know how to learn all this? I said, sit still. And I tell everybody, sit still, same chair, same time, notebook, and just start listening to your guides, because your purpose, your guides know all about, and they want you to get to your purpose, and they'll direct you, or you can learn from them. You can sit still and learn from your guides. That's how I learned to do readings. I don't do readings. A lot of people come into the reading room and say, well, how did you know to do this? I don't know, it came through my guides. And whether I'd done it in other lifetimes or I don't know, but yeah. So it's so much of why we're here is just listening to the other side. Yeah, but it's a good practice. It takes practice. Okay, and that's why SK is saying here, it is a matter of finding the balance and the middle way. And Steve, you can attest to this, because look at your writing practice.
Look at what?
Your writing practice.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The interesting thing about the heart too is that once you enter the heart, you find that you're on another dimension.
Oh yeah.
Every time I've talked to Michael about it, about the tsunami of love or the ocean of love, he's always said, well, the tsunami of love is 7th dimensional. The ocean of love is also 7th dimensional, as is Christ consciousness. And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute, it was only a 4th chakra opening, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It should be 4th chakra.
No, because you're talking about the 7 chakra system. It's 13.
Well, whatever, 13, the heart chakra.
Yeah, so that would make it 7th dimensional.
Well, classical enlightenment theory is that if you have a 4th chakra experience, you just have a 4th chakra experience. It's 3rd dimensional.
Okay.
But that's not so.
No.
Inside the heart, I'm in a 7th dimensional experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It blows our current theories apart.
Yes, so that's why the Council of Love is anchored in the 13 chakra system, the 12 dimensions, the 13th octave. Yeah. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so finding the balance and the middle way, the balance can be, could see how it's golden? That can be connected to the solar plexus, because that's the golden chakra there. That's the 5th dimension, but that's where we manage change. And the middle way, that's the heart, that's the 7th dimension. Once you anchor deeper and deeper into the 7th dimension, that's a really beautiful space to be emanating from. So that you're pretty much, it's more, we're not taking things personally. In
But
that,
we're in such a love, such an experience of love that it would never occur to us to take
Mhm.
something personally or hurt somebody or any of that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. So, but what I found with this thing that we're going to do with Archangel Michael is we're really getting the dredges. So it's just driving up what's really, really deep. Mhm. So you might come out of the 7th dimension for a while. Yes, Darren.
So can you explain the difference between balance and middle way?
Well, yeah, it's connected to, it's very golden. Balance is very golden. I believe it is connected to the 5th dimension, which is the solar plexus, managing change. So, but the
Yeah, that's what
golden,
it says on your chart. Yeah.
yeah, but the golden energy can run from Gaia, the council fire in the middle of Gaia, all the way up through all the chakras, the sunlight up to the heart of one. The golden energy is balance. SK carries the scales of balance. The law of elimination, he comes and he wants the scales to balance. You can't eliminate the old energy unless you're in the golden light, which is gratitude. Because as soon as you're gratitude for the belief systems, they dissolve and the scales balance. So it's getting to that place where you're appreciating yourself for the courage it's taken to be here. And that's a gratitude, and it just dissolves everything. Does that make sense?
Okay. And how about the middle way then?
Well, that's the 7th dimension. Once that's the heart. So once you're deep in the heart, you're in the middle.
Yeah, but when you're balanced, you're in the middle too, aren't you?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, that's the same thing, but there's no difference. So creation is golden and healing is emerald green. So that, and Archangel Raphael says there's no difference between creation and healing. So there's no difference between the balance and the middle way.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll let that sit for a while.
Okay. Steve.
Like to add on to what you just said, that if you can think of sort of a internal Schumann resonance for ourselves,
Mhm.
if we're in the middle, and we look at the extreme, it'd be like this, right?
Mhm.
Passionate, jumping up and down, shouting, all the rest of it. And the closer you got to the center, it would be quieter,
Mhm.
right? And that's what we want, right? We want quietness, stillness, to be able to pick up on these things that the company of heaven sends us, these experiences, etc.
Mhm.
So that's both the middle way, which is to honor that place in the center, to
Mhm.
honor that place of balance, and balance itself, which indicates that we come closer to the middle, and the noise, quiets down.
Mhm.
Both of those point to being in a quiet state in the middle, because that's where quietness resides.
I totally agree.
So yeah, no, where's my hand? Here we go. Lower hand. There we go.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, the stillness is, and there's so many words to describe these states of being. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just thought of something else. It's sort of like today again, I was standing in the corner of the store watching the store, watching the people. And again, 2 people couldn't even see me. So that, I think that's a type of stillness in the midst of, a lot of, because the store can be quite busy. And yeah, so that's finding that stillness in yourself is definitely, it feels really good too. When you can find that.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. And then often you can get to that state without even realizing you're doing it. It just happens. It just happens. And I guess it's practice.
Well, I read somebody say the other day the galactics are proficient in just getting to that state like this, right? Boom.
Mhm.
So, wow.
Oh, I'm sure they are. And a really good meditation to practice that is the law of elimination. Because SK comes, he's standing in front of you, he's got the skills, and he's showing you exactly, he doesn't say it in words, but you'll get it the more you do it. How to dissolve the belief systems in a very short period of time. But really, it's not something that he's not telling you how to do it. It comes, it's in the knowing, it's in the golden energy of the knowing. Yeah, Ken or Lillian, yes.
So is that what you were talking about earlier, talking about what the way to dissolve negative feelings or something, or what, is this what you're talking about?
Yes. Archangel Michael, when we get to that, it's a slightly different process, but
Okay.
balance is very much connected to being in gratitude for everything, good, bad, ugly, the whole journey, the courage that it takes for us to be here. And in that, all the belief systems dissolve and you come into the balance, into the stillness.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's extraordinary how fast it happens too.
Huh.
I've been experimenting because I've been really asking how to protect Amelia, because and you know what? I'm gonna say that because let's just keep going here. Any more questions on this little piece right here? No? Okay. So now he's talking here about intentions and ideas, and if a new idea is not bringing us joy, if it's not bringing us excitement, if it's not giving us that sense of deep fulfillment, then it is simply not part of our intent for this journey. So he's recommending we stay in the golden energy. So what is the gold? It's joy. Like we want to wake up in the morning and be excited about being here. That is the golden energy. And it just happens naturally with the practice of gratitude. So back in the day when the tribes were on planet, a role of the masculine energy was to go out and give gratitude to the planet. So wake up and just bow to the grass and bow to the animals and bow to the sky and bow to the water. And in that practice of gratitude that the men were doing, this was one of the men's jobs, that would help balance the planet. It would balance the weather. It would balance the energy around the tribe. Being in a state of gratitude is a miraculous state of being to be in. It dissolves anything that's not working. So yes, Darren.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that state of being in excitement and joy, that is the basis for creation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's that, again, another golden word, creation. Ideas, joy, excitement. And this is all like go in alignment, really want to do. Like these are all golden words and all part of creation. Yeah. So And SK says, do not proceed until it is in alignment with what we really want to do. So we don't want to be doing something that we don't really want to be doing. Unless it's, I got to go to the bank or whatever, you got to do certain things. But if you're making big decisions for purpose, jobs, that kind of thing, I'm always directing the younger people that come in the reading room, follow your joy. Figure out what really, and I used to say this to my kids all the time, figure out what makes you happy and go for that. Because we want to be in that state of happy, when you wake up in the morning excited about whatever you're doing. I think Leanne, I think your son is like that, in that, he's out adventuring and in his joy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I like my job.
Yeah. Yeah. You wake up and you can't wait to get to your writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell. So it's an amazing place to be in when that emerges, because it emerges and it changes over time too. Like for me, I never thought I'd be on Zoom explaining the laws. Not in real.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. I mean, I love it because the more I go into each slide, the more I understand it. It's becoming more and more clear and much more simple too. It's not meant to be complicated. It's supposed to be simple.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful planet when everybody gets to that state where they're always in their joy and excitement. Huh?
Yeah.
That's
And
coming.
and there are planets in the Pleiadian sector and Andromeda and Sirius. I mean, these are planets that are in that state of joy. People love their purpose. Yeah. So he said, if ideas don't feel like they're in alignment, it may be a past intent, it may be future intent. But if the joy is not there, if the excitement is not there, if the desire to create the space to be this and do this in a way that is enriching, not only monetarily, but to our very soul, then it is not a green light. So I don't know if you've ever wondered if you've made the wrong decision to do something. I had something that was just playing over and over. And then when I read this, I'm like, I didn't want to do it because it didn't feel like joy. And sometimes we create and the creations come to be, but it was like you created it a long time ago and now it's emerged and you're like, oh, but I don't want this now. So that would have been a past intent. For me, it was a past intent. And then now when I read this, I was like, oh, I can just let it go. It was a past intent. So I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes those decisions to do things can haunt us. Okay. All right. So then this is SK talking about being like a tree and thinking of sacred purpose as the trunk and the roots. So you can see I have got the tree trunk, sacred purpose, and it's going up. So again, being like a tree is a really good practice. And then the primary intention, so that's in the trunk as well, right here. And then the branches are okay, some of the branches also need to be brought into that alignment with our larger intent. So our intent, our primary intent and understanding is anchored. So we've got our intentions that are like branches. So he's talking about like a physical setup. So intention, for example, of the perfect physical setup, location, nest, facility in which to offer services, intention that a helpful people, cooperative people, collegial people are available to assist in this, intention that the flow of individuals who will benefit from our particular talents will be stepping forward. We are to work on breaking down the levels and the branches of the intent so then we can go to our tree and pick and enjoy the fruit. So basically he's just saying, bringing the intentions, anchoring them to the sacred purpose. And it actually makes sense. I did it for myself here So here I am working on family peace. So we want clear communication. We want divine boundaries when we're, around Amelia, safety for the granddaughter, cooperation with prudence. So just, sacred purpose, peace in the family, but there's got to be boundaries, but there's got to be clear communication. There's got to be cooperation, knowing when to step in and when to step out. And the main thing for her is safety. So it's just a matter of being very clear, and sometimes writing it out can be very helpful. Yeah, Ken.
Imagine that's really very difficult with people that just don't want to be how do I want to say this?
Responsible?
Insightful. Well, responsible too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that your relatives or whatever, I don't know what you want to call them, this must be very difficult for you because of they're just so far in left field. I mean, they're so different.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but I do know we have a lot of divine help.
Okay.
And that we've gotten as far as we have. I just keep holding the highest vision. I keep detaching
Sure.
from the old belief systems, and we can actually invoke on behalf of other people. We can, yeah, because I mean the goal is world peace.
Right.
And we have a group of people that are quite awake at this point, and then we have quite a large group that's not. And we're all here to create peace, and it starts in the families. So easier said than done, I know. Especially with all the outer influences of, as we were just talking about alcoholism and drugs and all kinds of addictions. It's not easy here. Mm-hmm. And the most important thing is to just keep working on the self, because the more we come into no fear, then other people can be in that space too. So the greater clarity I have around myself, that's going to extend to these people. And it's already starting. That I was able to sit and talk for an hour and a half with the other mother. That was pretty amazing. Yes.
So it's like a reflection of what's going on. So if you reflect your piece, then hopefully it will help them to pick up their piece.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it can be a really slow process, but it can also be a fast one too. Yeah. So, and it's to know, like down here, it says pull up the hope, the forgiveness, the truth, the beauty, the harmony, the joy, the gratitude, because we can pull it up through our root system too. So when I was working with Archangel Michael and driving up really old fear, it was very hard to be in gratitude. I could not get to gratitude. It took a couple of days before I could pull it up from the middle of the planet. And I could feel myself literally pulling it up through my feet. Because it was just so old and so intense. But then now I'm like right in it. I'm in gratitude. I'm laughing and joking, but I couldn't do that a couple of days ago. It was so intense. Yes, Darren.
So the fruit you have on the tree there, is that supposed to be joy and gratitude?
Yeah, because he says here, we are to work on breaking down the levels and the branches of the intent, so that then we can go to our tree and pick and enjoy the fruit. So yeah, I think it's to understand deeper levels of gratitude, actually, and creation, because, what golden energy, divine alignment, basically. Yeah. And I'm beginning to see that boundaries are a type of framework. So universal law is a framework. Boundaries are a framework. Yeah. The
Yeah,
more, yeah,
sorry.
no, I think it's the more we're in that ascension spiral of gratitude. That's a type of boundary around the self.
I think, we need boundaries because otherwise we'd become too scattered. We won't be able to keep our focus on what our purpose or intent is.
Yeah, and it's also a protection. It protects us so that only love comes into our field, nothing else. So the more we're in that golden energy, it's a protection. Mhm. The more we're in golden gratitude, the physics of it is if we're in that high vibration of gratitude for everything, we're going to attract more people like that. More people are going to be able to access their own divine state. But if I'm struggling with not able to reach that state, then I'm going to attract people like that. Yeah. So it's real. I'm finding it more and more and more important to just stay in that golden energy. Yeah. And then of course, if it's family stuff, oftentimes we choose difficult family situations so that we do the work for the planet. Because I mean, if it's all just love and peace in your family, we're not going to be digging deep to get to the old fear. Like, for whatever reason, I'm like immersed in this what looks difficult, but it's really not. It's just me getting deeper, deeper, deeper on behalf of the collective. Because I've been running release of all fear for everyone involved with the sex trafficking. And it's been intense. I can feel it running. I had a conversation with Michael right before we came on. I'm like, this has been going on now for 2 days. I've been doing this and I can feel the energy just running through me. And it's because I asked to transmute the energy around all the sex traffickers. And I haven't slept for 2 nights. Because it's running. And I'm like, whoa. But that's like, we can do that when we, so I'm because of the work with Round Amelia, I'm asking to do the bigger picture. If I didn't have the issues around Amelia, I wouldn't be asking. I wouldn't even be thinking about it. There was something that I had no idea about. Oh, the family law system. Had no idea it was so broken. But now, because I know that, we can do something about it. And I think JoJo's going to be the one doing something. Yeah, Ken.
I just, from what you've been saying, I think that this is a very long process. And even though we talk about it in this particular training or whatever you want to call this class, I think that we forget sometimes that just because we talk about it and understand the process in it, and that's so quick that it does take time.
Yeah, it takes time. The systems are all broken here. They all need fixing. And it's coming through the people. That's ascension. It's not some magic wand that gets waved. And the mother actually came and told us that. She said, I'm not going to wave a magic wand. You are the masters, you're in form, and the information is coming through you. And this is how important the meditation piece is. The sitting still, the looking at the golden walls, the listening, because it's coming through us that way. It's divine inspiration. That's what's going to change the school system. That's what's going to get JoJo standing up and going to the news. That's writing a book, it's going to come through her. It's not me saying, oh, you should do this. It's gonna it will just naturally flow through her if it's her sacred purpose to do that. But already she's been talking about it. We had that conversation on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, the ideas that have flowed through her already, and me not saying anything, very similar to the conversation we had on Wednesday. So interesting. So maybe that had an effect. It would just automatically went to her. Mhm. So
Yeah, it goes where it needs to go.
yeah, exactly. Mhm. Okay, so that's being like a tree can be very beneficial. Just practicing, pick a tree that you love and practice being like a tree, even in the middle of a grocery store or wherever you are. It's a really amazing state of being. Mhm. Okay. Okay, and then this is, we learned this before, but I just thought it was good to remember it. When we send the energy to heal a broken body or a broken heart or a shattered nation, the recipient can reject the energy. So when we were talking about ideas to bring the family law system into alignment, I'm sure it went directly to JoJo, because she started talking to me about it within the next day. So she was open to it. So, but this is us knowing we're not in complete control. We're a contributor, not a controller. There's a divine plan of unfoldment. Every person, whether it's an individual in hospital, who is a head of state, who believes themselves in dire straits, all are in a situation where they're in desperate need to receive. But if their hearts say no, then that's accepted. It is the free will. And there's no judgment on the other side. They just go, okay. And the being takes a different path, basically. The energy that we send, the energy of love and healing, is never wasted. That is one of the new rules of the law of intent. If our intent is to send healing energy, then what happens? It goes to others, plural, who are praying for healing. So they receive the answer to the prayer, to the plea they have sent out. Think of the energy as the sun. The rays of the sun are going out, healing others. The sun is still standing at the doorway of the individual we have sent to. Now with our sun, as SK's sun, as Gabriel's sun, as Michael's sun, as the mother's sun, and eventually the power is so strong it breaks it down and melts that wall. So don't think because we do not see immediate results that is not having an effect. It is. So when I met the mother of my daughter's former partner, there was incredible walls up. And I remember sitting and talking to her, trying to get to know her, and I couldn't get through to her. But, now this thing has been ongoing for a year and a half. And I had to sit down with her for an hour and a half. And it was like the sun had melted her so that we could communicate. Mm-hmm. But it did take that long. It took a long time. Mm-hmm. But I think once it starts happening, then it can escalate quicker and quicker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, Darren. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of having those talks like we had on Wednesday. That was a very important talk. Even though we didn't realize the consequences or what would happen, it was still very important.
Yeah, I think so. Wherever two or more are gathered and we're discussing ascension on any level, it's going out to the collective. So yeah, you're right. We got to remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's nice that our group is the size it is, and we all feel really comfortable, because I think that helps too. It's such a small, powerful group that it's wonderful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then, we're going back. Maybe I got these slides. I got these slides mixed up. Okay. So this is more on family peace, world peace, breakdown of the branches, staying in the intent. Okay, so then this is where he talks about when the tree is thirsty, and there hasn't been rain for several days or weeks. Okay, so this is us if we're struggling with lack of funds or whatever. So he says, put our roots deep into Gaia, drawing up the moisture, the minerals, the richness that is there for us, that are there for us. And really what you're drawing up is that golden self-worth, that joy. But yeah, there's everything in the roots. There's hope, there's truth, there's beauty. But when you can practice being like a tree, and just know that the tree knows that everything it needs is there. So etherically, everything we need is right there. And we can draw it up through our root system. And then again, a really good practice is to anchor in the heart and go right into those golden chambers and sit there. And yeah, Darren.
Yeah, and I think the trees really give us a good example because they all help each other as well. You know, through the root system, they help each other and cooperate and work with each other. And so that's what we need to do too.
Absolutely. There's some kind of communication system that they have. They can tell who, like the health of each other through the roots. And then they send each other healing energy. Yeah, it's fascinating. Trees are amazing. That's very good point. Very, very good. Yes. Yeah, we all help each other. Yeah. Okay. So the tree does not forget that all is there. Otherwise, it would wither and die. Put our roots down, anchor firmly, and pull it up. And then go to the top of our tree and receive from the great central sun and the heart of the mother what we want. Intend, open, receive. And remember, it is our soul agreement to share. We always share. So if we unintentionally give something away or something is taken from us, what do we open our hearts to receive? And then that's the balance. So always being generous and then opening, that's the balance. It's like the infinity sign. Yeah. Okay. When the Divine Mother is always there, you can ask to be with the Divine Mother anytime. And the Divine Father, the golden energy and the water energy. I mean, it's in every breath. There's moisture and light in every breath that we take. So the Mother and the Father are with us always and forever. Okay. So, now we're getting into the fear. Okay, so this is what SK says. The fear freezes you. So understand and look at it. The thing about fear, which is the twin of anger, because very often when you're afraid, you also get angry that things have not materialized or manifested. The thing about fear is it freezes you in place, and it also then calls upon its cousin doubt, which will knot your very heart. So he's saying we've put ourselves, and I do not say it in a way of criticism, we've simply put ourselves in a place where it's very difficult to escape, but it's not impossible, and it can be done as quickly as this, and it's so true. So he says here this is only the second law he's teaching us. So he hadn't taught us the law of elimination, which is number 11. But he says we can invoke Archangel Michael and use his sword. We can use his sword. Think of fear as being tied up, chained down, incapacitated, tied to the railway tracks, and you see the train is coming, or you believe the train is coming. But mostly fear is not about truth. It is about illusion, and it is about ego, and ego wants to stay in control. And so what you are doing is you are allowing ego to run rampant and to bring you every excuse under the rainbow about what won't work, what you can't be capable of, and what you can't accomplish. Okay. So some things here feel very real. what I've been going through with Amelia has felt very real. But he's saying here, fear is not about truth. Okay. So, there's Archangel Michael. And he says, if we can look at this with SK right now and laugh, it will dispel the fear. Then take the sword of Michael, invoke Archangel Michael, and let him cut all the ties that bind, all the ties, because it limits us. And we were never intended to be limited. Okay, so the interesting thing is when you're like, I couldn't find anything funny about what Amelia's going through, about the sex trafficking on the planet. I just couldn't do it. It's just too horrific. So some things are very difficult to figure out how to get to the laugh. But laughter will literally dissolve the old belief systems. So the best thing to do when you can't get to the finding the laughter is just to start invoking, is what I found. So invoking the sacred law of intent, the intent that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now. So I made a slide to show you that there's Archangel Michael. And he says to laugh, take the sword of Michael and bring it right inside yourself. So the sword is literally a metaphor for truth. Truth, alignment in the physical system. So it's like literally bringing the sword right into your divine alignment and knowing that you do know the truth of this situation. We all do. And to invoke Archangel Michael, let him cut all the ties that bind. So then he's got his sword and he's cutting everything. So this is what Leon was talking about. He's cut you, and we're allowing that to happen. And at the same time, we're invoking the sacred law of intent, that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now. And so I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and it works, but just be aware. I've had a few fights with people that I don't normally fight with. Just kind of happened. Yeah, it really drove it up. And now I'm laughing about it. We're all laughing about it. But on Wednesday, we had a Zoom bomber. And I was yelling at Archangel Michael, I don't find any of this funny at all. None of it. I don't find the sex trafficking. I don't find what's happened to Amelia funny. And then SK came and he said, well, what do you think about the Zoom bomber? And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of funny. It's so ridiculous. And that's when I started laughing. I was like, oh, okay, I can laugh about that. Because the Zoom bombers have been all about swearing. And I mean, we had a naked one time, and like, yeah, it was all about weird practices. So that I found funny. So then I could start laughing, and then all of it started falling away from me. So I think I'm in a completely different state than I was before, when I was more all tied up in fear. Yeah. But getting to what you can laugh about can be as difficult as finding what to be in gratitude. The gratitude it does come after. Yeah. But the best thing is just to practice it. So, and even just start, you can laugh about anything. Just do the laugh, take the sword, bring it in, invoke Michael, ask him to cut all the ties. And what it'll do, it'll just drive up stuff that you don't even know is there. But if you are wanting to do it around a situation, I highly recommend this. It works. But just know that you might get mad. it might come like out like a volcano. So that's a good thing. Okay, so that's that. And then, so there we are. Okay, so it just says use the sword of Michael and cut away illusions of fear. Then this is where he says our laws are fashioned on the laws of the universe. So the human laws are fashioned on the laws of the universe. Have they lost their way? Have they become bastardized? Yes. But the original intent of human law, of fairness, of equality, of freedom to create, was based on universal law. He says simply choose any law and see a human law, and it is a reflection. The elements of the divine law are in there. So our laws are a reflection of the old belief systems and the divine. For any human to suggest that universal law does not exist is simply denial, and that is not something we wish to participate in. Then this is where he says, be brave, be outspoken. And I think this is how the systems will change. So we need to stand up and speak out. Yes, Ken.
Not sure I understand what you mean by be brave, be outspoken.
Well, it's sort of like what JoJo could do if she wants to
Oh.
stand up to the family law system.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can be done in everyday life too, because we're surrounded by people that don't believe. They
Don't
don't
believe.
that they have guides, that there's a
Oh, I
divine
see what you're saying.
plan, that, yeah. So when you can start expressing little bits and pieces, it really helps. It helps us and it helps everyone around us. Darren.
Yeah, I think you have to be brave to stand up to any fear that is in front of you, because that's what you need to deal with.
So what, like, give us an example.
I don't know.
What's an example
Well-
in your life? Like what have you witnessed in yourself?
Not much recently. I try to eliminate them as much as I can. So, I can't really think of one offhand.
Like stepping out in community more, that type of a thing, or like, let's see, even joining something new. Like some people can have a fear of joining different groups, or I don't know. There's lots of fears that just sort of come, they just sort of emerge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've worked a lot on your fear. Yeah.
Well, there's still some there, I'm sure. I just can't think of it.
Yeah. Okay. And Ken?
Well, I'm having a problem with a guy at Tai Chi. He's the
Okay.
one, he's how do I want to say it? He's the Sifu, the one who's kind of in charge. And I was expecting, well, we were divided up into groups of 2 each. And I was the odd man out. So I went up to him and expected him to want to partner with me. And what he did instead was he said, you have to wait. Didn't put it quite that way, or didn't say anything at all. He just went through and worked with everybody else and then made me wait till the end. So I felt that was kind of shitty.
Okay. Did it remind you of anyone?
My father, I guess. I wish I had a more direct connection, because I blame my father for so many things and I'm tired of it. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like that was necessarily it. I just,
Well, it's funny because the divine will often work through group situations like that to help us see what's going on inside of us. So Archangel Michael might have been inside of your leader doing that to drive up those old feelings again in you, to let them go. So you
Okay,
become even more conscious, so that you go, oh, can I just forgive my father? Can I be gratitude for my father, teaching me this, what doesn't work? And so it's just like deeper and deeper and deeper into divine alignment.
well, I think it's more complicated than that. I don't think it's straightforward. I mean, I've had times in my life where they've been authority figures such as workplace,
Mhm.
people too. So I
Yeah.
guess I need to just sit with that and figure out what else is involved there before I can give a definitive answer on that.
Yeah, and it's usually really simple. We don't want to make it complicated. Any kind of boss figure usually goes back to some kind of behavior with parents out of alignment, and it's just
Okay.
deeper into gratitude for yourself for dropping into that situation. Really, it comes back to self, deeper gratitude for self. Forgiveness of everything, gratitude, get to being like a tree so you can just stand there and look at it. And you're not triggered at all. You don't take anything personally.
Well, it's going to be a while. I mean, this just hit me, so I mean, I don't really have any information on that yet.
Okay, so I would go right back here. And if you can laugh about it, yay. Then take Archangel Michael's sword and bring it right into your body. And feel it come right in. So it's like this amazing silver energy of truth inside of you. And then ask Michael to cut all the ties. Just cut them. Michael, come and cut all these ties. I don't want them anymore. I'm so sick of them. And then say, I invoke the sacred law of intent, that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now.
Right. So I ask Archangel Michael to cut all the ties, and then I invoke the sacred law of intent, that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now with regards to this situation.
Exactly. And you can do this. It's so simple. I recommend memorizing it and doing it when anything comes up. It's brilliant. It really works.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't forget to laugh, do the laugh. If you can laugh, that is really, really powerful. Do the laugh and bring a sword right like within your physical form. Just pretend the form, the sword is, because it's truth. You're bringing in truth. You're raising your conscious awareness to truth. What is the truth of this situation? Why do these boss people trigger me over and over and over?
I think this is an ongoing thing with him, that I feel uncomfortable with him sometimes, and some of the things that I act, I'm not sure he's comfortable with, but so I
Okay.
guess it's something that cuts both ways, I think.
Oh, absolutely. You're reflecting back to each other. Maybe he had a difficult father too. Probably did.
Well, I was thinking more about the relationship we've had with each other and in the past couple of years. I mean, I think it's just something that's rearing its ugly head because of what had happened. And now it comes up every now and then because of the way I approach things, which I think triggers him.
Right. So yeah. So the more you fall into being like a tree inside of yourself, you've completely in gratitude for your past. It creates an entirely different situation in the dojo between you.
What's the dojo?
In the
Your Tai Chi studio.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, I was trying to think. Is that something new? I'm not aware of that word. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah, think of it as the dojo. It's like this divine place where you're anchoring peace on earth. And
Okay.
you're working with the leader of this group to create that. Where where it's all peaceful.
I
Yeah.
think sleeping on it will help.
Yeah, and just think of me trying to bring peace into this situation around Amelia and the former partner. Like this one's really intense, the one that we're involved in. Yeah, but I'm determined. I'm determined to bring it to peace so that there's good communication, so Amelia is protected. Having a child is like very what did you say when you want to create it for sure.
You mean as far as protecting?
Yeah.
Protecting, we have a tendency, I think, to think of kids, if we do the right things, then kids will turn out okay. And I don't think that we necessarily have to be that much in control, and we have to trust that the kids know what they're doing too.
Yes, absolutely. But what I'm saying is protecting her from the energy of her father at this point, because the energy is a little chaotic around him. So getting protection of the child. But I have been doing this invocation around her as well, and around her dad and the mother and the father, like everybody. I've been doing this invocation so that all fear is eliminated with all of us.
Why don't you wait until he comes back and then see what happens?
Yeah, but I can be doing this etheric work while he's away too.
Okay. All right.
You can invoke this on behalf of your Tai Chi instructor.
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm confused.
Okay, so I'm invoking on behalf of Amelia, on behalf of her dad, on behalf of the other grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
so that we all come to peace.
Right.
You can invoke on behalf of your Tai Chi instructor, so that the energy between the two of you becomes peaceful.
Okay. I invoke the sacred law of intent that all fear and limitation, all feelings and of inadequacy be eliminated now, right now, and
On behalf of,
on behalf of my Tai Chi instructor, whose name is Paul. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, and you can hand him Archangel Michael's sword. You can ask Archangel Michael to cut all the ties around him as well.
Okay. Archangel Michael, please cut all the ties around him and around me. Thank you.
Yes.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what Leanne was saying today. Did I cut the ties, the cords, the ties with Amelia and Jojo and John, right, Leanne? That's what you said? Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is the same thing. Do you recognize that this is the same thing? Yeah.
Well, once you said that cut all the cords around him too, I think that helped, and I'm relaxed. So maybe that was part of it too.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe you and him go back into other lifetimes. maybe you were warriors together or on enemies.
I think big brother and little brother, I think, is more
Okay.
likely.
Okay, well,
And
there you go.
he wouldn't allow me to do certain things, even though I wanted to kick him in the shins.
Okay.
Well, that's what's coming up right now.
Okay. Well, maybe he reminds you of your brother.
Well, my brother, hmm, my brother really doesn't pull my, well, maybe my younger brother. I don't know. It's complicated. I'll have to think about that.
Okay, so you can do the invocations around, it's a really good idea to do this invocation around all family members. Because the ties are there, they're all there. The cords are there. So just ask Michael for help with all family members. And it helps with every interaction with other people out in the world. Because generally we are triggered because there's unresolved stuff between family members. And it just extends out into the workplace. It's incredible. So clean up the family, clean up the world.
Yeah, well, a part of that has to be that my shrink told me that there was a competition going on between my brother and I wished him dead, and he ended up dying. So there was a lot of guilt around that whole situation. So,
Okay, well, that's a really great one to ask Archangel Michael for help with.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because that's why he's here. That's what Archangel, big part of Michael's mission is the elimination of all fear so that we create peace on earth. Yeah. Derek.
Okay. Give me just a minute. I want to write all this down, the steps, so I have them.
Yep, and I can send this to you in an email too.
Okay, why don't you do that,
Yeah,
please?
I'll do that. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about taking up all that time, guys.
No, it was good because we got to family, cutting the ties around family. You can do this little exercise. And the most important thing to do it with family members, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Because the more we anchor peace into the family, the more there's peace on earth. Yes, Derek.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that, the more we cut these ties, and we'll know that the ties are cut when our body relaxes. After cutting the ties and getting rid of the fear, our bodies will automatically relax. And we'll be in a very relaxed state, in a peaceful state, and in gratitude as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I felt a little bit of that. So yes, I understand what you're talking about and appreciate it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's amazing how much stress we hold in the body. Mhm. Yeah. Yes, so that relaxation is
Excuse me, I gotta go to the restroom.
okay. All right. So yeah, I'll send this slide out. It's a great one and so simple. Oh, and I was going to say too, see how there's these two eyes up here? That's what happens too. Those eyes open up. So our discernment ability increases. We can really see what's going on. Mhm.
And we also gain wisdom at the same time.
Yeah, and you know what wisdom is, according to the Buddha? It's really deep reverence for everything. Yeah, which is, again, it leads back to the gratitude. It's a deep, deep state of gratitude. Yeah. Wisdom. Okay. So then we went on. So this is SK asking us to be brave and outspoken. And then what I went to was, and this was kind of Steve's idea too, because he was like, what can we do to protect Amelia? What can we do? So basically, the more we love ourselves is really important, that inner child. So the child is really 0 to about 8. Whatever has happened in those formative years, we spend a lifetime letting go. These experiences. And so the more we can hug our child within, and then extend that to all the children. So Ken, I was just talking about our own child self within, because we take on experiences that are maybe not so loving between 0 and 8, then we spend a lifetime letting them go. And so the more we can just love and hug our child within, it's amazing how it can extend out to all. There's so many children out there that are being terribly abused. Yeah, Steve.
I actually meant something a tiny bit different. I meant, what can we as a group
Yeah.
do to protect Amelia?
Yeah, and I'm getting to that. So
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah, I just wanted to say this is really important too. So this is group work in a way, because you're loving your inner child so that yeah, we're not falling into the old belief systems. We're maintaining that consistent love for self. So we're really, really in love with ourself. And then this is understanding who we truly are. So this is our wholeness, our self-love and self-worth. Okay, and then sending that out. So this is, again, the golden joy. And it's interesting that Amelia is wearing a little golden bathing suit here too. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's all kinds of energy, all like, it's almost like a house around her, the light. So that's like, she's quite protected there, etherically, it looks like. And then she's wearing the golden bathing suit. The whole planet is to come to gratitude for this entire journey. But then this is an invocation that I came up with, where we invoke the Divine Mother, Father One, the Mighty Ones, Sanat Kumara, the Council of Love, the 13 universal laws, the 13 blessings and virtues, the 12 dimensions and the 13th octave, Saint Germain and the Violet Flame, for the protection of Amelia, therefore all children. So as we're protecting one, we're protecting all. And this is the way we were taught to invoke. When we don't know which law to invoke them all. Yeah, Steve.
Could
you're
you
on
please,
mute. Steve, you're on mute.
Might we invoke that as a group?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, say it.
Okay.
You mean all of us say it out loud together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And is
All
that
right.
is that what you wanted to do too, Ken?
Yeah,
actually, well, that plus I wanted you to email this to me too.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, and this can be done. I mean, it can be done every day if you want. But we can all say it together right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go. Yeah. Lead the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll start.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I invoke the Divine Mother, Father One,
The
the
mighty
Mighty Ones, Sanat Kumara, the Council of Love, the 13 universal laws, the 13 blessings and virtues, the 12 dimensions and the 13 octaves, Saint Germain and the Violet Flame, for the protection of Amelia, therefore all children. Very good.
That was very good. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank
maybe,
you.
maybe we could do that at the beginning of our class.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay,
For sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Because you know what's interesting? Each of us are children. So we're actually invoking it for everyone on the planet. We are the children of the Divine Mother, Father One. Everyone is a child. So we're actually asking for it for everyone in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, with all like the issues on the planet of the sex trafficking, and it being so horrendous. And SK talked about it in one of the laws, about it being going back a long, long time, this practice
Mhm.
of sacrifice, of, you know,
Yep.
behavior out of alignment, not of love on this planet. So that's what we're doing in this ascension. Is really getting to the point where we're just loving the self so much, it gets extended out to everyone. Mhm. Yeah. Well,
Kathleen, can I just mention something about that?
yes.
We're loving ourselves so much that gets sent out to everyone. We're loving, and as the love comes up and through us and out from our hearts, we experience it ourselves, and that is what we call loving ourselves, right? That we're loving and we feel it ourselves, and then we send it out to the rest of the world. It isn't, I used to wonder, what does it mean to love oneself? Does it mean like, yeah, oh, how do I love myself? But this is yeah, right. Operationally, this is what it looks like. I draw love up from my heart, send it out, and in the meantime, swirl it around me. That's for me what loving myself actually looks like. Anyways, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. And I think it can be different. Like, we're all so unique, and there are millions of ways to do this ascension. That however you feel works for you.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Whatever you feel works for you.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I remember when I was a model, some of the top models, they were interviewed. This was back in the 80s. And I remember one girl saying that she would imagine, and she was like one of the best models in the world. And what she would imagine is that there was a teddy bear somewhere. Like, she was loving herself, but she was like a teddy bear. And I thought, whoa, that's interesting. I would never have expected her to say something like that. That she was correlating being in front of the camera and being that love that she would extend to her teddy bear when she was little. I was just like blown away. And I thought, wow, that's brilliant, because that energy is going out into all those crazy magazines where it was all very much focused on how sexy you looked. And here's this girl thinking she's like a teddy bear and loving her teddy bear. That was so cute. But yeah, it can be as simple as that. If it gets you into that space where you're absolutely remembering that unconditional love.
Yeah.
Or a pet, even a dog, like you had a dog when you were little that you absolutely adored, that kind of thing. I had a dog that I just would hug until it jumped out of my arms. I loved it so much. So yeah, it's however you can get yourself into that state. And then if the old fear comes up, you can deal with it much easier. It can disappear very quickly. Because there's layers. We're not quite there yet. And as your field grows bigger and bigger, even if we're out a hair, we're going to feel it. So I think the letting go of the fear can become quicker and quicker and quicker. So it's not a big deal.
That's how I feel about my cats.
Yes, exactly. That's why people have pets. That unconditional love. Yeah. You get into that state. That's Nova Earth. Yeah, and it just extends out and out and out. Okay, well, that was I don't know how long we went here. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was a long class, but that was fun. Okay, so let's jump out and there we go. Okay. So I'll just close it down. I'll say thank you everyone for enjoying this Zoom. And I think we'll have one more. Well, we'll bring all the information together. So we don't forget. Like from the second dimension, humility, and the law of intent. And we'll correlate it a little bit with the first dimension and the root chakra and the law of sacred purpose and compassion as well, because they're very much interrelated. Okay, so thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now.